Hello and welcome to the podcast. My name is Anthea, and today I have here in the studio with me a great guy, one of the main sax players in Ghana who have done a lot of international work. He's here to talk to me, and his name is Steve Bedi.
Hi.
Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
And thank you
It's
for
been a
having
long
me.
time, huh?
I know. How
You've
many
put on
years
weight.
now?
I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah.
It's like you've put on a little bit of weight.
Really?
Life must be good.
Yeah.
Or
Sometimes.
the sax is blowing you up.
That's fun. I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe it's the watching food
Hey, wow.
and stuff.
You're eating more.
You know, these days.
Well, then life must be good. I mean, if you're eating
But I
more,
eat like
it
once
means you
or
have
twice
peace
a
of mind.
day.
Really? Wow. You look good.
I try.
And it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So many years.
Yeah.
Sax. You still playing sax?
Always.
How many years has it been now?
On the sax? Like 25 for.
25 years
Yeah.
playing sax.
Active. Professional.
How did it start for you? Do you have any family members who have music
No.
background?
Well, I would say my mom. My mom used to sing in the choir.
Ah.
So I think one way or the other, it probably started from there. But I think I just took it to a different level because, aside everybody.
What is it with people whose either mother or father or something starting from the church? Like, why does it always start from there? Like, somebody will start singing in church or playing an instrument in church, and then they will have a child that will also come and do the same or something similar. Don't you find it a bit?
It's really interesting. I think it's in the blood. Blood is always thicker than water. So it's in the blood. And, we are all wired differently and wired with a purpose. So maybe, I'm supposed to come to fulfill that or to also take it to a different level, and somebody else will come and take it to a different level.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah,
You start from
maybe the
church
father
and then
is,
somebody else will come and do music or sing. Or
something like that.
So your mother
Yeah.
used to sing?
Yeah, she used to sing, and they were all in the choir. My sister also, and then I wasn't really a part of it.
So at what point did you realize that maybe you had interest for music?
In fact, I knew from age 6 that I had interest in music.
Okay.
Because at age 6, thereabouts, I've been, playing cans. Like
Cans, as in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those days, Melotines, Ovaltine, and those stuff. I go to the refuse dump, pick them up, wash
Just
them,
be playing with them.
and then
stuff.
set them as drums.
Oh.
So I started
So
with
you were
drums.
training your ears
Yes.
without even knowing you were probably even doing that.
Because I just love it. So I was playing the drums with those cans, and also, I think I was just learning about sound and also rhythm.
I remember when I was young, all I heard my father play at home was jazz. And that made such a great impact in how I viewed music, how I understood music, and how I probably even sound. And all that time, I didn't know that I could sing. But I believe that jazz made an impact on my life somehow before I realized I was singing. Music is spiritual, isn't it?
It worked on your ears.
It did.
There's always an incubation, period. That you always have to listen to strange things that you don't understand. But you have no idea behind the scenes is doing the magic, tuning your ears, giving you understanding. And then when the time is up, it buds up, and then you pick it up just like that.
For you, where did jazz come from? How did you end up playing the sax?
I think it started with, the orchestra, because my dad used to listen to jazz as well, but more of philharmonic, orchestra music.
Okay.
Classical music.
Right.
Yes. So I think it sprang up from there.
So you grew up listening, you would play at home. Okay.
I've been listening to those kind of, music, and I didn't know anything about it, but it was just sound, other instruments playing. And that was it. Little did I know that I'll pick up the saxophone later.
So
But I actually
understand.
started with the trombone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually started with the trombone, when I was like 8.
When you're 8 years
Yes.
old.
Yes. And trombone, then I went to a little bit of trumpet, flugelhorn, then I went to euphonium and came back to the trombone. So the trombone was my main
Your
instrument.
main thing. Is it, I don't really know what that, is it similar? Is it a big thing?
No, the trombone is the one that they pull, the slide
yeah,
trombone.
yeah,
They
yeah.
pull it that way. and,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's
Similar to saxophone, though.
not necessarily, but it's part of the brass, instruments. But the saxophone is part of, is in the woodwind family of musical instruments. It's a woodwind instrument.
Okay.
But the other ones, like the trombone, trumpets, tuba, what have you, those are the brass instruments.
I've learned something today.
I was on the brass instrument, and then one day I mentioned, the Philharmonic Orchestra on TV those days, on black and white TV. Then one Sunday, this orchestra was playing. So I was listening to the music and still doing my house chores. Then I chanced on somebody playing the saxophone.
Okay.
So that was the first time that I saw somebody play the saxophone.
Right.
It wasn't an instrument that I was privy to,
To
not
have
at
heard
all.
and all that, or you just
All I
heard-
knew was the brass,
Right,
the
okay.
brass instrument, the trumpets and stuff. So when I saw somebody play that, the sound of the instrument and how it's shaped, I went like, what's that? And the sound was really fascinating. It caught my ears, and the quest started. I started looking for that instrument
Oh.
until I found it.
And then
And
you
when I
learned
found it, I knew this is it. Something will just sink inside you that, no, this
You
is
have
the
that
instrument.
rest.
Yeah,
that this is what I'm supposed to be.
I found
So
it.
is that like a calling? That's like,
Basically,
you feel like that's your calling?
yeah,
Play
I
the
think
saxophone.
not necessarily saxophone, but I'm just a different kind
You're passionate about it.
of musicians that have been wired here. But I think the saxophone is mine
Your thing.
because it does a lot for me than words.
So how did you start playing it professionally? Were you discovered by someone, or
No,
how did you get the platform? Where did you first
okay.
have your break?
That's good. In fact, I was playing with the military band,
Uh-huh.
and aside that, there was always something about me, because my friends used to say it, that we are all playing the same instrument, but you have something else more, and it feels like you want.
You play it differently.
Yeah, you sound differently. You want something more. And I knew I wanted something more. So anytime we played, I would go back, relearn what everybody else learned, everything that we all learned. And I tried to master it
Okay.
in a way that when I sound, that's me.
So you were stretching yourself a little bit
Stretching
more
myself. Exactly.
others.
Yes. So we will close, and I'll still be there rehearsing for extra 2 hours or 3 hours before I go home. So I was just putting in the extra effort, and it wasn't because I was in some sort of competition. No,
Okay, you were just
I was just passionate.
Perfectionist.
Yes, passionate about it and want to perfect it. So that was it.
so. Where did
And
you get
then-
your first break? Where did it happen?
Yeah.
What stage? On what stage?
Yeah.
How did it happen? Who invited you?
So I was in Takrady, and this studio engineer friend of mine called upon me and were like, Steve, I'm doing something for somebody in the studio. I would want you to come and play saxophone on it. And I said, why not? It was a challenge because that was the
You was a bit
first time.
nervous. You haven't done it before.
A little bit,
Then you get called,
even
yeah.
though I was, really looking for such an opportunity.
Uh-huh.
But I was really nervous. I was like, wow, a recording. Okay, cool. I'll do my best. Luckily enough, when I went there, what they presented to me was cool. Like,
okay.
I was like, oh, I think I can handle this.
Because you had practiced
a little bit
yeah.
ahead of that kind of thing. So, and I handled it. It was great. They loved it. So I came back, and my friends heard, oh, you went to the studio. I was like, well, I didn't know. It was just something fun. So I think basically the whole discovery, started from there. So this pushed me to a different level. I started, pushing my limits because I didn't want to, how am I going to put it? Not that I didn't want to school under anybody, but it was like I couldn't get that person who could nurture me to give me exactly what I wanted. Because I've been studying a lot of people around and what I wanted from them. So I realized, no, I'm not getting that person. So I need to push myself, to the next level. So then I started getting, buying CDs, jazz CDs, learning what others have played.
Right.
I discovered John Coltrane, the late John Coltrane, by myself.
Wow.
Because I just, those days you're passing in the evening somewhere on the street of Accra, you see CDs all on the floor. Right. So you just go look through and pick what you want and pay for it. So that was how it started.
And I mean, you've had the opportunity to perform with people like Hugh Masekela.
Yeah.
And so many other great people.
Bob James, Richard Bonner, people Tom
that
Braxton,
were of influence to you at that time, wasn't it?
Yes.
And now you're playing with them.
Yeah.
How was that like?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Like, I mean, you're now in close, proximity with these people that you have really admired.
Yeah, and understudied.
Oh man. That was
the feeling cannot be described.
Oh, it was something else.
Oh, wow.
Like you're seeing your God.
Has it sort of like grew your passion even more?
In fact, all the time. I don't think I do have a period where things almost feels like it's retrogressing more. It's always going forward for me. It might be a bit stagnant for a while, but it doesn't beat anything down for me. It takes me forward because everybody that I've met over the years, mentioned them, from the Kojuring Trees, the Rexomars, and the Amans, mentioned all of them. It was like a different level for me all the time.
Always going up.
Always going up. And I think, God was just good to me because when I met these people, anytime I played with them, they go like, oh man, Steve, that was good.
And did you always learn something new from them?
Of course.
They always gave you something to add up to what you already know.
Add up to whatever I had.
Right, okay.
Because
I feel like if you come into contact with a legend and they are not able to give you something to take home to, then it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it.
They've walked the path, so
yeah,
they should be able to give you something that
always
you go home and you're like, wow.
Yeah, always.
You had that moment with them.
I had that moment. There was a time I performed. Before, I used to perform with Hugh Masekela as part of his band. Oh,
you were part of the band. Wow.
Anytime he came to Ghana.
Right, okay. Because I was going to ask you.
Yeah, not in South Africa.
South Africa.
No, not in South Africa. Anytime he came to Ghana. So, the final moments, not necessarily final moments, but the biggest moment was when I actually performed on the same stage with him. Now as an artist, as an individual, wow. So we were on the bill to perform with him. He was the headliner. Wow. But myself, Ben Bracco, and a few others, Yaya and Co.
And I mean, back home too, you've done a lot of work with
yes,
different artists, haven't you? Who are some of the people that you've worked with? And what was the
A
experience
lot of
like?
names. Kojoinchi, Rexoma, Amanziba, Jade Blay, Chame Kwame, Chame Kofi, Foforian Ponsa, Kontehini, Kwabna.
Amazing. Countless.
Lots of names.
Anthea Coca.
That Anthea Coca, I remember. I've been performing with you.
Have
before.
we? I don't remember. I think so.
Yeah, we performed like.
I don't
think
remember,
there was
but I think so.
There was an event like that twice.
There must have been. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we performed like twice.
Sometimes my memory is bad.
I know, right?
Forgive me.
A lot of people in the hip life or high life, are coming to the gospel. As for the gospel, a lot
of people.
Some songs, I must be honest.
So let me ask you a tricky question. What were you going to say before?
I was going to say that sometimes I listen to songs with the saxophone playing on it, and I do forget that it was me.
Okay.
So it'll be playing for a while, then I go like, no, that phrase, that kind of twist or thrill is me.
I was going to ask you, what type of sax player are you? Are you a gospel sax player or a circular sax player?
Everything.
So you're just sax. You play sax.
Because I feel I cannot.
Your faith doesn't come in it.
I cannot limit myself, and my faith doesn't come in.
Right. Okay.
As long as the music is good. If it's good music, I'll do it.
What is good music?
You will know.
Okay.
You will know when it's good music. Somebody go like, but music is music, but there is good music. This goes way beyond what the ears hear. And this is more deeper than just normal music we listen to. There's dark music and there's, bright music. And we know it. Those of us who have gone way deeper, we know it. You listen to certain kind of music, the sound, there's a bright sound, there's a dark sound. That people don't know that.
Okay.
So I listen to a music, I can go anywhere, I listen to a music, I go like, no, the sound is dark. And
you don't want to be part of that?
I don't want to be part of it. I can still be there, but I'll shut myself up. Because sound is very powerful.
Very spiritual.
Sound is very powerful. Sound permeates through everything. There's no limit to sound. So the more you hear certain kind of music that, based on its frequency, has effect on you. Whether you like it or not, whether you're consciously listening to it or not, it's still going to do its work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only if some of us would pay close attention, huh?
Yeah. Whether you like it, it's spiritual.
Amazing.
Whether you like it or not, it's going to do its work.
I've heard there's been a lot of discussions recently about, not even recently, there's been discussions about how music doesn't really pay in Ghana, in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Has Ghana been fair to you in that area? Considering the amount of work you've had to put in, in training yourself and bringing yourself up to the level that you are, do you feel that you've been treated well? Well,
to talk of treatment is another topic.
Financial treatment.
We could discuss. However, I think it's not up to the standard.
It's not up to the standard.
It's not up to the standard. But then, those of us who are still doing it is because we love what we do and we don't want any other thing to stop us or sway us from, our passion.
So if I'm understanding,
so I don't look. Though it's
the money is not good.
It's not good in Ghana. I make more money outside the country than Ghana.
How comes? Why is that? Is it because Ghanaians don't really appreciate good music, or they don't understand what music is about, or do you feel like they just take sound for granted?
Music in Ghana, there has been very little input, when it comes to the financials aspect of it. How other countries appreciate music and push funds
into music.
It doesn't happen Ghana. Here. It's not like Ghana. Before Ghana will be able to give you $1 million for just a performance, you need to hit a very high level that they know.
If it ever even happens.
If it ever even happens,
yeah.
You know. But then, some way, somehow, we also need to learn the craft and also learn the business aspect of it. So it's like most of the artists are losing the business aspect of the craft. So,
as in what, they're giving up because
not necessarily
the money is just not coming and they're getting tired and
there should be people working around you in order to do that business part for you, and those people should be shrewd negotiators.
And like your management team and
yes, they should be firm. You know, they should be firm, and also to handle you or hold you when there is nothing, and be able to push you to that pedestal. You know, but we lack that. All we hear is a manager. A manager goes there and is not even able to negotiate. Most people go through this trouble. You know.
So is it because the artists are not going for well-trained managers who have skills and like who has stuff behind them?
Yes.
That they've done.
Yes.
Who's able to go out there and say, listen, I know my stuff.
Yes.
I've done this and this is what I'm bringing to the table for my artists.
Yes.
What are you meeting us with?
Yes. We have very little people.
So are people cutting corners and just picking everybody?
Yeah.
Picking anybody as their manager or?
Well, that happens as well. Some people just pick somebody, be my manager, or somebody is able to get you a gig and all of that, the person becomes your manager. But the business
but then I've also heard people who manage their own selves complain that they're not making enough money.
Yes, you won't make enough money because you haven't really gotten the whole business aspect right. Because it's negotiation and you have to be fair. It's either you get it or you don't get it. If you don't get it, you're still all right. There's nothing like being hungry or whatever.
Are people hungry enough?
People are hungry.
When it comes to good music, to say, you know what?
Okay.
This person is going to sit me down and negotiate this amount with me. I understand music. I'm passionate about music. I know good music when I hear one. And so because of that, I'm willing to pay this amount of money, you know, to listen like to that. Steve Bedi.
There are people like that. I've had gigs in Ghana here that I got paid very good. And these people are very few because they know what quality music is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been in meetings with these people, and we talk. Okay, Steve, how much are we talking about here? Quotation in dollars, quotation in CDs, and they go like, okay, how about this? I do this, and these are businessmen who are well traveled and have seen a lot around the world. So they don't have time to come and discuss, excuse me to say, chicken points with you. Yeah. So they go straight. How much
then
are
in
we
that
looking
case,
at?
it sounds to me like if the artist goes in themselves and do the negotiation, they are more likely to get what they want than sending their managers.
How many artists are able to stand firm to negotiate?
What stops them?
There are a lot of people who don't even know how to do that. There were times that, I got paid very high. Even just in Africa. Don't even go to Europe or America. Just in Africa. There were gigs that I performed or played that I was paid $10,000 US dollars and $15,000 US dollars. I mean, and they have taken care of everything. Flight, business class for me. 4 or 5-star hotel. They give me a place on my own, and then my artist. It's only me that I change
over there.
So I go like, hey, no, I want to be with my guys, and they will change my room, give me a stand-up because they gave me a suit,
And you don't get that.
No, I didn't want a suit.
I'm saying you don't get that in Ghana.
Where are you gonna get it? That's a fact. Where are you gonna get it? There are times that we even had an argument for just booking a place for me for the event so that I can stay, change, relax, and then go.
So then it sounds to me like it's not a management problem. It's
It's part of it.
It's the fact that people don't appreciate good
It's
music.
part of it.
And so they're not ready to invest into good music.
I get that, but it's part of it because other people come from outside and they give them that kind of treatment.
Uh-huh.
So that is where I have an issue with that.
Right. Okay.
Because I've been on events with international artists.
And they're willing to pay them
They pay them the amounts, not that they're willing. They actually pay. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Steve Bedi, they don't want to pay.
For other
Other artists, they don't want to pay.
Mm-hmm.
That much. So we have,
What really is the problem? Like,
the problem is the value.
you're devaluing.
Yeah, they don't really value you that much. That's the thing. But we have to let them know that this is what good music is, this is what quality music is. But we're also doing less. Because when we're pushing and it's not pushing, we are just then we go back, quarter back into our shells and don't do anything. But not me.
So you're just gonna push and push
I'll
and
keep
push until they
pushing,
get it.
and it's gonna come with a price.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come with a price. Either you're not gonna get too many gigs to do.
And that will affect
That will affect
your gigs, like playing
everything.
around and
You're making money and all of that. It's going to affect you a little bit. But you need to know who you are. Whether you're hungry or not, you need to know your value. Okay? So aside music, I do other stuff. I can survive without music.
right.
And survive.
But ideally, given the chance, that's what you want to do.
That's all.
Full time.
That's all I want to do.
So your passion is being crushed.
Trying that, but they can't crush me because.
So how about relocating maybe? Go somewhere.
I've tried that.
Music.
I've tried that. I've lived in the States. I've tried that, but I think I would want to do something here more because over there was trying to change me. Because I get to listen to different kinds of music and different vibes. But I wanted an identity. That identity that I wanted, if I continue to stay there,
you might
I
lose
would
it.
have lost it.
But then that brings me to this question then. If you're playing, do you think then that in Ghana is because jazz is not really our native music, and to some it may be foreign, and so they feel like, oh, this is not something that I want to pay that much money to hear.
We listen to a lot of chaff in Ghana.
When you say a lot of chaff, as in
A lot of music that are not.
I mean, at the same time, I've heard people who do hip life or local, who sing in the local languages, still complain that they don't make enough money.
Okay. What I would say to that is, first of all, these people know their listeners. Who are the money payers or those who can really pay to listen to your kind of music?
Mm-hmm.
Your listeners are the people who don't have much to pay. So you can't do a show and probably charge 1,000 Ghana cedi or 2,000 Ghana cedi per head.
Right.
But somebody else can come and organize a show and the table is 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 and will buy because of the quality of music.
Right.
And their listeners,
They're kind of
niche.
listeners, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if you keep creating music for the masses, what is for the masses is always going
to be for the masses,
exactly.
Mm.
And most of the musicians are not trying to up their game. But if they do a song or two and there is a hit, they keep it that way all the time. That's another thing.
consistency is also
It's also
the cause of the, yeah.
Irrespective of consistency, you need to also up your game. Let them see you climb the ladder.
As in, i.e., get international gigs, go on the international platforms. Because that's what they want to see, right?
Exactly.
They want to see you doing stuff outside of the ordinary before they say, "Oh, he deserves this."
Yes.
Let me give him. Okay.
Most of
So I think Ghanaians are perfectionists.
well,
They don't value.
they do music. No, they
They want to
actually
see perfection.
no, they actually don't value good music. I'll put it this way. They like the music. But if somebody brings that same kind of music, refined, and it's more cleaner, with better understanding, better artistry, or
Good studio sound.
they go like, oh, it's nice, but we want to fill up the stadium, and you see, we look at quantity than quality. You go into the studio. Now you're part of the production, doing everything. Now, when you listen to the song and you feel like, okay, this part of the song should be like this, and you try to, prompt the engineer about it. One, the engineer might listen to you and go like, yeah, I think you're right, we need to do this. But the one who is featuring you, the right owner of the song, might not want that.
Okay.
So the thing is, most of the musicians
Try to cut cost
and create music just like that. They just want,
but
excuse me to say,
the money is not there to invest into
the money
the
could
music.
be there. One way or the other, they themselves need to up their game too.
But doesn't that come with money? That's
it
all
comes with
finances.
money, but you need to invest in yourself. You understand?
So maybe they should get like extra jobs out there somewhere.
Well,
do something extra that will make you financially able to like invest in your your craft. Is that what you're saying?
That's also important. It's important. Aside that, what is all about the craft? It's about your output, what you're able to do. Maybe you like practicing by yourself. You see, in this country, people don't like to learn. They like competition.
Okay, that's
but
a
they don't
difference.
like to learn.
That's a big difference.
Yes.
So they like to compete, but they're not ready to put in the work that it takes.
That's what I was talking about, saying they need to invest into themselves. You understand? Because somebody thinks I can sing, so I'm at par with Anthea. I'm at par with Beyonce.
But then they don't know the path that
you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Because the things that you can flexibly do, maybe they can't do it. But because they can also stand on the stage and sing. So.
Wow.
And it flows, it's the same on all levels. Yeah. Somebody playing the saxophone thinks he can play everything.
Amazing.
When you are supposed to spend time on yourself,
working on that particular instrument,
looking for a tone, trying to play a note right, trying to do. There are lots of things, yes, diversity. And we always like to cut corners. So that's the problem.
That's the problem here.
That's why we'll go outside the country and still go and perform to our people, our own people.
Not other.
How many musicians from this country go outside, to the Europes or to the Americas?
You've done it. You've been to
and perform
stuff
to different,
in France, you've done stuff in South Africa.
Yeah, I am glad that I performed to.
Was that by chance or?
Well,
is it something that you did that got you that merit?
Maybe because I chose quality.
Okay.
And I always chase quality. So you see, most of my audience, if it's outside the country, they are predominantly other races apart from my kind of race. And this
is a universal thing as well.
Exactly.
That people love.
So if you still do music and you go to America and still perform to your people alone with the same kind of music,
you've messed up.
Then you've missed out. You are not breaking boundaries. You are
That means
building.
you've messed
You are building within your boundary.
Yeah.
You're not breaking the boundary.
I think I agree. I think I agree.
So
You've
that's
really,
some of the
you've really
problems.
poured your heart out today, and I'm so glad
I
because
try.
it's about time somebody
Yeah.
said it exactly how it needs to be said.
We need
If it's
to
not
say
happening,
it.
it's not happening.
It's not happening.
No need pretending and acting
Yeah.
like everything is going well.
And Ghanaians need to appreciate good music.
Exactly.
Instead of beating down, good musicians or those who are trying to make it better. They're like, oh, you're being too much, you're being da. Hell yeah, that's how it has to be. You go there and these people do the same thing that somebody here is talking about, but you don't say anything. You understand? You go out, you walk by the roadside, you drink water from your whatever, and you throw it just there. But you go there and you don't do the same thing you do over there. Why? Why can't you do the same thing there?
That's the biggest question, right?
You see? So it's us.
It's us, yeah.
It's
Definitely.
us.
Charity
we need
begins.
to.
Charity
We need
definitely
to
begins
change
at
the
home.
fundamentals.
Wow, Steve, we can go on forever.
I know. We need to have
It's
more
great.
of this conversation
Of course
because
we
I've got a
will.
lot of things to tell you.
Definitely, we will
Yeah.
definitely come back.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
me.
for coming. Thank you for coming. I really
I
appreciate
appreciate
that.
it. I appreciate
thank you,
it too.
and thank you for watching wherever you are, and we'll catch you again next time.